Hi friends, Saira Map. இது ஒரு green social media. இது Facebook மாதிரி ஒரு social media platform. இதுல pictures, videos and voice chat roomலாம் இருக்கு. இதுல account open பண்ணி verify வாங்குற ஒவ்வொரு users பேர்லயும் ஒரு மரக்கன்று நடப்படும். இத sign up பண்ணி account open பண்ணும்போது verification email வரும். அத verification பண்ணா மட்டும் தான் account open ஆகும். நீங்க என்ன user name கொடுக்குறீங்களோ அதை கொடுத்து தான் login பண்ணணும். email address போடக்கூடாது. account open பண்ணி cover photo, profile picture எல்லாம் வச்சு ரெகுலரா ஆக்டிவேட்டா இருந்தா மட்டும் தான் அது verified accountல எடுத்துக்கொள்ளப்படும். அதர் ஆப்ஸ்ல அப்லோட் பண்ணாத வாட்டர்மார்க் இல்லாத ஓன் கண்டென்ட் வீடியோ போட்டு வெரிஃபை வாங்குற யூசர்ஸ்க்கு கிஃப்ட் உண்டு. அது என்ன கிஃப்ட் அப்படிங்கறத அந்த ஆப்ல மெசேஜ் வரும். சாயரா மேப் லிங்க் டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்ல இருக்கு, டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க. சாயரா மேப் iOS and Google Play Storeலயும் இருக்கு, டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
Similarly, events will happen in human life and we must be prepared emotionally to face them as they happen and continue our life, is the advice from Lord Krishna. The fundamental objective of our life is to understand the Almighty within us and take efforts to realize God within us. Human beings think that death is the end of life. It is true that death destroys human body, but the life is not destroyed. Death propels the soul of the human beings towards their next level of growth. When the soul takes life again in a new body, all the accumulated wealth from the previous birth, comforts and luxuries don't go with it. Whatever is earned in this worldly life is left in this world only for the kith and kin to enjoy, and the soul is not at all benefited. What is the use of struggling throughout the life to earn your wealth, name and fame, which is not going to be of any use to the soul? What should human beings do? Once you reach a comfortable age and experience in the new life, you must initiate and focus your efforts to attain peace of mind, happiness, and permanent bliss in this life. This is the secret and motto of life. What should a human being really do? Human beings can overcome the fear of death by merging the mind with a God, by handing over all responsibilities to Him. Now we can change the death as an experience of pleasure and happiness. Handing over all responsibilities to God is the only way to enjoy the pleasure of death. Is it possible achieving such a remarkable event in our life? Does it require hard effort and difficult training? The hard effort and training does not mean to perform a rare penance. We need clarity of mind to understand about God. We must realize and understand that God is omnipresent, exists within our body and present in all the living beings. Siddhas had left compositions as instructions for us to create awareness, interest, understand and learn it through the God-realized Siddha tradition, Raja Yoga Guru, to practice, and the practice is prohibited without a Guru. In this world, people are not worried or happy about the onset of rainy season or the beginning of summer. Whenever the season changes, human beings and all the living beings all over the world take precaution to face the upcoming seasonal change. In the same way, in our worldly life, we must understand the reasons for the happy and sorrow events and take suitable precautions to prevent them. We are suffering because we don't take precautions from the upcoming sufferings. The reason is that we cannot change the upcoming weather and we prepare our mind to undergo the seasonal variations. In the same way, we must learn to prepare our mind to go through the events of our life without sufferings. When we rent a guest house for a week during our vacation, we can enjoy the guest house similar to our own house. After the vacation, we will be vacating the guest house with a happy mind to go to our own house. In the same way, we must leave this world which is given to us on rent for some time to enjoy this world. In the same happy mindset of vacating the guest house, we should also leave this body with a happy mindset and to welcome our death. We are all afraid that death is like a punishment. Death is the grace of God shown on the living beings. Death is given to the living beings as a relief from the exhausting race of the worldly life. The life needs rest for a while, and normally we remove the torn-out shirt similarly. The body which is tired and worn out from the race is removed and the new body is given to start the race again, after a brief rest by the mercy of God on the living beings. Without knowing this truth, human beings with a mental desire to enjoy the worldly pleasures through the senses are afraid of death. In our daily life, we give rest to our body after a hard working day by sleeping in the night. In the same way, after an exhausting worldly life, death is the rest given to the life before taking a new body to continue its journey to realize God by getting rid of the effects of good and bad deeds. Hence, there is no need to be afraid of death. Chapter number 12. Why fear of death? Why people are trembling with fear of death? Why human beings and all other living beings struggle very hard to protect their life till the last minute. The death for all the human beings are fixed at the time of birth itself. Knowing this still, they are trembling by thought of death. Is it due to the attachment to the world? Is it due to the attachment of the kith and kin? What is that which creates fear among the human beings for death? Which undergoes death? What is destroyed? The answer to the above questions. Human beings are under the influence of ignorance about I am this body. The death is only for the body and not for life. Only the body is destroyed. Soul is never destroyed. Whatever is produced in this world only is transformed at the end. Whatever is produced, the same thing is destroyed and transformed into something else at the end. All the living beings in this world are made using the 5 basic elements. It is a secret how the 5 basic elements combine with the life, and at the end, how the 5 basic elements disappear and transform after the life leaves the body. God has given everything to human beings. The secret of birth and death is kept with the God. Living beings are made to dance to the tune of our breath called Pranan, the secret thread of life. The following composition of Pambati Siddhar explains this clearly. Marappavai pola oru mannurut செய்து. Similar to a wooden toy, a figure is made of the earth. Valamana Sivan ennum jyotiram maati. The earth toy is tied up by the thread of our Pranan with the secret object called Jeevan, which is life. Thiraikkullirun dasai pon தீர்ந்த பொழுதே is played by the soul behind the screen of our mind through our ignorance. Degam viழுமென்று தெளிந்தாடு பாம்பே. O dancing snake, be clear that this body will drop down dead. This body is similar to a wooden toy. However, our body is made up of earth. Because of this, the earthen toy is tied up by the thread of our Pranan, with the secret object called Jeevan, which is life, is played by the soul behind the screen of our mind through our ignorance. This body drops down dead when the soul directing us from behind the screen of our mind leaves our body. We know all these very well. Why are we crying and lamenting on the death of our relatives and friends? It is because the person who had interacted with us as our relative and friends is through their body only. The body is the identification of our relative and friend. When this body is now without any action, and we will have the thought that this body is not going to interact with us anymore. This thought is the reason for our sorrows and the tears. It is the same for everyone. Today we are crying for others, and in future others are going to cry for us. Why are we getting disturbed knowing this very well? Patinathar is raising the following question. Why future dead bodies are crying for the current dead body? Pattum புகுந்து பிறந்து வளர்ந்து பட்டாடை சுற்றி. The 10 gases entered into womb, taken birth, grown and wearing silk dress. முத்தும் பவளமும் பூண்டு ஓடி ஆடி முடிந்த பின்பு. Decorated with pearls, rubies, run and play here and there, and finally, செத்துக் கிடக்கும் பிணத்தருகே இனிச் சாம்பினங்கள். Around the dead body, all future dead bodies had gathered and கத்துங் கணக்கென்ன கான் கைலாபுரி காலத்தியே. Shouting, what is this calculation? O Lord of Kalati of Kailapuri, take a look. Within our body, there are 10 gases. Dasavayu, flowing through our 10 nadi, which is Dasanadi, the important nervous network. Before we took birth, we were within our mother's womb for 10 months. After the birth, we were decorated with pearls, rubies, and silk clothes, and run and play here and there, and finally we fall dead. Now all those who are going to die in future had gathered around the dead body and shouting. We are at the peak of ignorance to understand this calculation. O Lord of Kalati, of Kailapuri, take a look at this. Human beings are not qualified to claim ownership of this body. It is because this body is a begging bowl gifted by our father and mother. Someone else is going to occupy this body. This is the Jeevan. It is for the Jeevan this body is made in this world based on the effects of the deeds of previous births. It is because this body cannot go around to search and finalize a suitable life. Similarly, even our parents, who are responsible for the creation of this body, cannot decide a life for this body. Who decides the life for this body? The following Patinathar composition explains this. Ootuvippannum urangavippanum gingu ondrodondrai. One who gives this body helps to sleep, here are one after the other. Mootuvippanum muyangavippanum muyandravinai. One who makes us experience the effect of the deeds helps in copulation, tried effect. Kaatuvippanum iruvinai pasak kaitrin vadi. One who shows pleasures and sorrows controls the body through our breath. Aatuvippanum oruvan undedillai ambalatte. One who makes us dance is there dancing at the stage in Thillai, which is Chidambaram temple, Tamil Nadu. The one who decides which life should be given to a particular body, makes to experience the effect of the deeds of the previous births, shows the pleasures and sorrows, controls the body through a breath called the pranan, which is responsible for both the deeds of good and bad, imbibes knowledge to the Jivan, induces sleep to get rid of the exhaustion of the Jivan. He is the one residing in the space at the Thillai called Chidambaram temple. Without his grace, nothing will move. Siddhar Thirumolar composed the following stanza to provide evidence to the above Pattinatthar composition. Ittan arindilin, travel kandilal. Donor of semen didn't know it, accepted it into her womb, also didn't see it. Tattan arindum, oruvar kuraithilan. Goldsmith, which is the female gametes, knows about it and had not revealed it to anyone. Pattanga sollum paramanum angulan. God who knows the truth about the formation of the life is also there. Ketteni maayin keelmai evvare. None warned about formation of body by ignorance, sufferings after birth. The father who contributed his semen didn't know it. The mother who had accepted the semen into her womb also didn't see it. Both of them were not aware about the formation of a new life during their copulation. Even though the goldsmith called the female gametes, which is going to form the physical body of the fetus, knows about it, had not revealed it to anyone. God who knows the truth about the formation of the life by the union of these two are also there. Siddhar Thirumolar laments. No one had warned me that my body is formed by the influence of ignorance. I was caught in the spell of ignorance and suffered after taking birth. Hence, first we must understand that the body and life are not the same. They are different from each other. Our body is made of the fundamental element, earth. The life is made of the fundamental element, space. Jivan is the form of goddess Shakti. Soul is the form of Lord Shivam. Our body is destroyed because the Jivan is not aware of the soul. What will happen when the body is destroyed? Siddhar Agathir, the greatest saint, explains it in the following composition. Parappa Sivan vittu pogumbodhu. Hey, look at when the Jivan is leaving you. Partha pinam kidakkudu enbar, uyir pochu enbar. They say that the deserted body is lying there. Arappa arindavargal arumillai. They say that the life has gone out. Who knows it? Agaya sivathodane serumenbar. No one. They will say that it will join the Shivam at the sky. Karappa thiyudal teecherumenbar. They say that the life will merge with God like fire merging with the fire. Karuvariya manidargal kootamappa. These group of people do not know how the birth takes place. Sirappa kamigal dam ondrai சேர்ந்து. It is by the copulation of the loved one. தீய வழிதனை தேடிப்போவார் மாடே. O fools, choose to go by the bad route. On seeing a dead body, human beings usually tell that the Jivan had gone out. Some others tell that the life had gone out. What had gone out? Who knows where it had gone? Nobody knows where it had gone. Others tell that the life of the dead will merge with Lord Shivam in the space and the soul will attain peace. Few will say that the life of the dead will merge with God, similar to the fire merging with the fire. These are all imagination of the human beings. These people do not know how the birth takes place. We take birth due to the effects of our good and bad deeds and prompt us to do the same activities performed by the people who had taken birth before us. We also carry out activities without thinking about them. Similar to the plough bulls, simply follow the footsteps of the plough bulls ploughing in the front. Death is decided one. Part of the yoga is to prepare our mind to welcome the death. We are responsible for deciding our type of body, type of parents, method of death, and the type of lifestyle. These are all based on the effects of our good and bad deeds and decided through our fate. If we realize this, then only we will try to come out of our ignorance. However, we don't find time in our life to understand this. It is because all of our time is spent only in finding pleasures of our senses. How will the thought of finding the facts all arise while we spend the life on worldly pleasures? We are not ready to spend even a quarter of the time we spend to beautify our body, to forget to find what is supporting our body. We visit temples which are famous for its sculptures and the architecture. During this visit, we appreciate the artwork of the sculptor for the beauty of the sculptures and architecture of the temple and its height. However, we don't appreciate the foundation which supports and protects from crumbling down of the beautiful temple for centuries because it is not visible. Even if we don't appreciate about the foundation, it is performing its duty irrespective of our ignorance. In the same way, people appreciate beauty and strength in human beings and forget to appreciate the soul, which is the foundation and supports our body. Once we understand that the soul is the real I, then the I is not the one which is going to die. everyone can get rid of the fear of death only when the thought that the body which is lost its vitality is going to die is embedded in the mind deeply. For example, we go to ready-made shop and buy a shirt which is matching to our size. However, we don't know how that the shirt was made available to us. We don't realize that it is made by the hard work of many people. The farmer produced the cotton. From cotton, the yarn was made by the cotton spinning mill. From the yarn, the cloth is made by the weaver or by the textile mill. Finally, the shirt was stitched to suit our size by a tailoring artist from the cloth. Imagine that so many had to toil even for a lifeless shirt which will tear away soon. How many people will be required by God to make our body? Here the body is similar to the shirt to be produced. The semen which is similar to the cotton is required to make the cloth in the clothing mill. There are many types of machinery. Similar to this, the female gametes form the body by combining the 5 basic elements. Similar to a shirt, father's semen and the mother's female gametes unite to form the body. The father and mother who made the body don't know who is going to wear this body, similar to the shirt kept in a ready-made shop. In the same way, the soul also will not know who is preparing the shirt for it to live. Hence, by seeing that the shirt-like body is getting destroyed, the jiva is crying and becomes sorrow-stricken by the ignorance of the mind. One should not be afraid of death. Some people say that they are not scared of death. They will say they are worried only for their family because after their death, who will protect their family? I am afraid of death because I am worried about my wealth which was earned by hard work for me and my family. What will happen to my family if someone robbed all the wealth after my death? These people say that they have to protect their hard-earned wealth and is the reason for their fear of death. What did I earn? All these are taken from here only. Even your family is given to you because you had taken birth in this world. Your children are the principal and the interest you had paid for the loan of your body given to you at the time of your birth in this world. It is a lie that people used to say. You had not brought anything into this world at the time of your birth. You cannot take anything with you at the time of your death. The reason for you to take birth into this world is the effect of your good and bad deeds of your previous birth. Your body is given to you as a loan to repay the loan of the effect of your good and bad deeds. What did you do with this body? You had come into this world to repay your past loan. However, you start to accumulate the loan by doing more and more deeds. You had come into this world along with the effect of your past deeds, and after death, you will be carrying the newly earned effects of the deeds performed in this world. Hence, it is a wrong idea to say that you had not brought anything and not taking anything from this world. We must understand and perform all our activities that the reason for our wealth and happiness is due to the blessings from the effect of our good deeds done in our previous life. Similarly, the reason for our poverty and sufferings is due to the sins from the effect of our bad deeds done in our previous life. The following compositions of Patinathar emphasizes the same point. Irupadu poi, povadu mei, enrenni nenje. O mind, think that the body in this world is a lie. Truth is that it will go away. ஒருத்தருக்கும் தீங்கினை உண்ணாதே பருத்த தொந்தி. Do not harm anyone in this world, the big pouch of the stomach. நம்மதென்று நாம் இருப்ப நாய் நரிகள் பேய் கழுகு. We feel it is ours, but dogs, foxes, ghosts and vultures. தம்மதென்று தாம் இருக்கும் தான். Are thinking that the big pouch will be a good feast for us after their death. The body in this world is a lie. It is a truth that it will go away. O mind, think about this deeply and do not harm anyone in this world. We are thinking that the big pouch of our stomach, grown by feeding varieties of food, is ours. The dogs, foxes, vultures and ghosts are thinking that let them eat well and the big pouch will be a good feast for us after their death. It is a meaningful stanza. Let us see how it is fitting our times. When someone is accumulating wealth by cheating many people, the relatives are watching this rich person like the dogs, foxes, vultures and ghosts which are waiting to feed on the wealth after the death of the rich. Even if this rich person is not dying, the relatives go to the extent of murdering to take away the wealth. However, the person is accumulating the wealth for the future. The above stanza is matching for current situations in this world. Hence, death is similar to sleeping. We get up afterwards and the same body is sleeping. In the same way, after sleeping for a long time, waking up in a different body is death. If we understand this clearly, then the fear of death will vanish. Chapter number 13. Wisdom and the Sage. Nowadays, there is confusion among people about what is wisdom or knowledge, who is sage, which is who attained the knowledge. People think knowledge is a separate object to be attained. Going to a guru, serving the guru to please his mind, thinking that getting instructions from the guru will lead them to attain knowledge. With this intention, many people are wandering all over the place in the desire to become a sage. These people do not know that before becoming a sage, one must begin to be intelligent. They don't know that it is the fundamental requirement to become a sage. It is because the seeker of wisdom should not have characteristics of tamasam, which is laziness, and rajasam, which is violent behavior. These two are opposite to knowledge. Which characteristic will help to attain wisdom? The suitable characteristic is satviham, that is, not harming any being. The following Vali Sami Siddhar, Jnana Gummi song explains how one should be to attain wisdom. Somvulun tookamum magade. Sleep and laziness is not suitable. Anna sugiyun jogamum kollade. Don't enjoy food and don't be sad. Samba sada sivanattathile nendru. Focus your purpose on Samba Sadashivam. Sarndu gummi adiyongadi. Oh ladies, let us all join together and perform clap dance. What is the meaning of the above stanza? The first enemy in the path of knowledge is laziness and sleepiness of the human beings. These two must be avoided. What is that we have to do? Human beings need energy to live their life. The food is very important to supply energy to human body. Even though food is important, whenever it is not available, the person engaged in the path of wisdom should not feel unhappy and become sorrowful in the mind. Instead of thinking about food, you must divert your mind to think about Lord Shiva, who is Isan, who is also called Shamba Shivam. Engage your mind, speech, and activity towards him and dance by clapping your hands, called gummi in Tamil language. The prerequisite for wisdom is engaging your mind towards him. Next, to find a God-realized Raja Yoga Guru who will show the path to reach him. These two will definitely lead you towards God realization. One must have the right mindset and the knowledge to achieve all these. Is knowledge and wisdom same? Wisdom itself is called as wisdom. However, knowledge is different. Wisdom is also different. Knowledge is to know about existing things. Wisdom is to do research and find out the basis of the existing things and understand them. If we know the basis, everything exists, everything does not exist. Existing is nothing, and the nothing also exists. Everything is me, I am everything. Wisdom is knowing, realizing, and seeing all the above. Should we not attain this wisdom from the instructions of a God-realized Guru? Why Guru cannot impart wisdom? Vali Sami Siddhar said in the following stanza that it is not possible. Nelliyilirukkudu kaattukkulle karu. Indian gooseberry is there in the forest. Nelliyilirukku veetukkulle. Black gooseberry is there inside the home. Kollimalaikku thirindalum, even if you wander into Kollimalai, which is the range of hills near Namakkal, Tamil Nadu, Guru kondu varuvaro jnanapenne. Oh, the lady of wisdom, can Guru bring it? We all know that the Indian gooseberry grows in the forest. In the same way, when you were under formation in your mother's womb, the wisdom called black gooseberry had also formed your body called your home. We have the urge and interest to attain wisdom. Is it in our mind called Guru? Without searching our own mind, people say that the Siddhas and sages are there in Kollimalai. Don't wander and search the Kollimalai hills for Siddhas and sages to get instructions for wisdom called black gooseberry. Wisdom is not available outside. Wisdom is within you and can be realized only through your subdued mind. None of the gurus can give you wisdom. Always keep this in mind well. There are people who had conquered their rebirth. However, there is nobody in this world who had conquered their death. All the objects existing in this world will disappear one day. Even if God had descended into this world, then the death is a definite event for God also. For example, all the revered names like Lord Rama, Krishna, Buddha, and Jesus had all died in this world. Only those who you realize this are called wise. However, people have the mindset to celebrate few godmen who can perform paranormal gimmicks and worship these godmen as God. This was predicted long back by Siddhar Sivavakir in the following stanza. Siddharendrum Siriyarendrum Ariyonada Sivargal, O Jeevans, unable to differentiate between the Siddhas from petty-minded people. Siddharingu irundapodhu pittarendru ennuveer. When Siddha was here, you thought that they are madmen. Siddharingu irundum enna pittan naatiruppare. Even if Siddha is here, the people in the country are the madmen. Attan naadum inda naadum avargalukkellam ondre. The abode of God and this country is one and the same for them. O human beings, you don't know who are all Siddhar, Mahan and Sage. When the original Siddha was here, people did not approach them, nor respected them, treated them as insane. O countrymen, you're not interested to listen to Siddha instructions because thinking low about them. The place of God and this world both are the same for the Siddha, and there is no difference for them as per Siddha Sivavakir. We are wandering with the thought to bring the Siddha under our control. Through their grace, we want to obtain all the things which will bring pleasures to our senses. It is a wrong thought. Wisdom is not an object to be seen by our eyes. Wisdom is the speech of sages, and their compositions are assuring us. Don't search for wisdom. If you search and find yourself, wisdom will search and come to you. However, we are searching for wisdom outside. It is similar to the experience looking at the sky by standing at the beach. Will appear that the ocean is meeting the sky at the horizon and is within our reach. If we take a boat and travel to the horizon to reach the sky, it will never be within our reach, and we will keep moving farther away. You are thinking that I want to attain wisdom. As long as I exist, the wisdom of God will also be there in the opposite direction. The moment I disappears, you will realize that yourself is wisdom. Whatever you're wandering to find, the opposite of thinking will also be created at the same moment. In any activity, if the thought I enters, then the objective of that activity will change directions, and it will be missed. Person searching for wisdom should not entertain the I feeling. If the I exists, either directly or indirectly, then the wisdom will transform into ego. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa explains in a story. As long as you think that you are a sage and doesn't know anything, will give you only sorrows. However, he said that the wisdom is dangerous. You may think, what is this new idea? Yes, the moment one starts to think in their mind that I am holy and have attained wisdom, will consider and treat everybody else as sinners. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said that to remove the thorn from your feet, you're using another thorn. Once the thorn from your feet is taken out, then throw both the thorns away from your path. Don't keep the thorn with yourself, which is used to remove the thorn from your feet, because the thorn used to remove the other one from your feet is sharper. Similarly, don't forget that the wisdom is a sharper thorn compared to the a-wisdom. Wisdom is required, but it is very dangerous. The moment a person realizes that they had attained wisdom, will generate unlimited ego. A bad person will not hurt others till he is provoked. However, the ego of a pseudo-sage will stupefy them to think that only their actions are right. In the thought of righteousness, it will lead to harm others. We can see this now. Today, invite everyone and declare that I am bestowed by the grace of God. I am one of the revered sage. The effects of the deeds of the people who had come to me are removed. From today, these people have become blessed. We are regularly seeing advertisements like this. Siddha refutes this in the following composition. Mayanguvan ponteda purattu pesi. Get into a stupor in searching for the gold using twisted lies. Magathana ஞானமெல்லாம் வந்ததென்பான். Will tell that he had attained the great wisdom. Tayanguvan mannale sarvu kanan. Will hesitate and unable to see the residence in the earth. Sadagama yogathir சார்ந்தேன் என்பான். Will tell that he had joined yoga and practicing. Thiyanguvan நோய்வரர் பூரணமே என்பான். Will hesitate and on contracting disease will call the goddess perfection. Sagasala Thirodai சிரிப்பால் பார்த்து. Thirodai, the grace of God, will look at them and laugh. Muyanguvan samadhi விட்டேனையோ வென்பான். Will claim that he has come out of samadhi now for others' benefit. மூடமுற்ற ஞானமெல்லல முளகிற்பாரே. There are many such pseudo-sages in this world. In this world, a person will try to earn wealth in the wrong ways, when wisdom is not attainable. In a stupor on the materials of this world and the attachment to the properties, people become untruthful. They say that they are practicing yoga and had the vision of siddhas and sages. They had initiated me into the wisdom. By the touch of my hand and the power of my wisdom, the effects of your bad deeds of previous births, all your sins and diseases will vanish. The pseudo-sage claims he is always in the state of samadhi. Only for others' benefits he had come out of it to bless everyone. Thirodai is the grace of God. She is the storehouse of all the arts. She is responsible for engaging the soul in this world to undergo the effects of the deeds of the previous life. Finally, she is responsible for cutting off attachments and affections and guiding us to the liberation from all bondages. She used to laugh at the pseudo-sages. There are many such pseudo-sages in this world. As a first step to attain wisdom, one must cut off one's own bondages, getting rid of the attachment on the materials and affection towards kith and kin, changing the mind and ours mindset. avoiding the longing for everything, avarice for controlling everyone, showing ego on others should go away. I have not got everything. These types of self-tied bondages must be removed. The following is a story of a king who had searched for wisdom. Once upon a time, there was a king who was not a great devotee of God. At the same time, he was not spending time fully in satisfying his sensual pleasures. From the day of his coronation, he had subdued his enemies, found out people's requirements and satisfied them. He had constructed temples, dug ponds and lakes. He was enjoying the dance, music arts and debates with learned poets. At the end of everything, he had felt only emptiness. One day, suddenly a question arose in his mind. Who am I? Why did I become king after taking birth here? What was my previous birth? After my death, where will I go? What I am going to become? Will I become a king or a beggar? Where will I find answers to these questions? Thirst for knowledge and wisdom started in him. He called his prime minister and requested answers for the above questions. The minister replied, O mighty king, answers to these questions are secrets. Even the devas and demigods won't know the answers. Only God-realized sages can answer all your questions. Others also replied that answers will be revealed to you only after you attain wisdom.